bit better. And let's sort of sit a little bit further down here. Let's have a little bit of subliminals before we start. Bit of subliminals. Always good to have a bit of subliminals. You can never have too many subliminals, know what I mean? I think you do. So, what I want to talk to you about, and I won't keep you long, it'll be a quick vid. What I want to talk to you about is multiple accounts at the same address. Now, up till now, we've always said, I haven't got a problem with multiple accounts at the same address. I only have a problem with multiple accounts for the same person on the raffle site. And Chris is the same as me. For those that don't know, Chris runs the raffle site. I don't have anything to do with that. He runs that. And Chris doesn't have a problem with multiple accounts at the same address. Like me, he only has a problem when people try and cheat the system and have multiple accounts for the same person. The problem that we've got is that the system, the computerized system of it all, technology is bloody great until it doesn't work the way you want it to, and then it's a nightmare. And what we've ascertained is that the system itself doesn't like it when you've got multiple accounts for the same IP address and the same household. Now, we've tested it out with somebody's help by doing a VPN, what's called a VPN, which is a scrambler. So every time you do something on the internet, it just gives you a different IP address. It scrambles the IP address. And this doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because it's a different country. Sorry. Hello, Ian speaking. Do me a favour, I'm just in the middle of doing a vid for my live stream. Can you give me a call back in 20 minutes? Thank you. Sorry about that. So, rather than do another video, just easier to do that. So, we don't have a problem with people having multiple accounts at the same household. In actual fact, it could be better off for me in the long run because of the subscription that we're now doing. You could end up having 3 or 4 people in the same household, all taking out a subscription with each other, you know? But it's not going to work. The long and short of it is, it's not going to work. We can't fix this issue at the moment. Now, later on, we might be able to fix the issue. When there's more money in play and we can pay for a better system and so on and so forth, then the issue can potentially be fixed. But for now, it can't be fixed. And what's happening is the system itself is seeing multiple entries from the same IP address under different names. And what it's doing is it's just flagging that up as fraud and blocking the accounts. Doing the VPN, as I said, with a test doesn't work because it scrambles the IP address. It's now telling the system that it's in a different country, that you're in a different country, because these IP address scramblers, they all, you could be from Somalia, you could be from Germany, whatever, it just scrambles it and so on. Well, and I don't profess to understand how half of this works. Well, that's telling the system that you're not in this country, but your address that you've given the system is in this country. So of course that makes it fraud, and therefore it will block your account. Now, there's several of you that I've talked to, and you've not done anything wrong. None of you have done anything wrong. Let me make that clear. You haven't done anything wrong at all. You've done what I said you could do. And I said you can have multiple accounts at the same address. Your wife can have an account. Your children, if they're old enough and they collect coins, can also have an account. Because I recognised that a lot of the times when one person in a household collects coins or stamps, they generally get someone else in that household, you know, they're also collecting. But it's not going to work. It's not having it. And we've now got to the stage where the system, if you like, blaming it on the system, blaming it on computer error. I hate it when people blame computer error. Blaming it on that, it's deleting entries. So some of you have made entries and your entries have not been on the wheel because the system has deleted them. It's ignored your entries and we haven't known. Now with those people I can go, well, yeah, okay, I can give you a bit of raffle credit back to cover you know, the entries that you've lost. But that's not the point. Because from your perspective, it's like, oh, charming, I might have won. And I can't answer that other than say, yeah, you might have. But there's nothing I can do about it. Nothing. Apart from reimburse a bit of raffle credit to those people, you know, that have had an issue. And without going and watching all of the streams and checking how many entries each person really did have, by speaking to the person and then watching the stream, speaking to the person and then watching the stream, speaking to the person and then, this is going to take forever. I ain't got the time for that. It was Chris. He's just been up half the night trying to fix this issue, you know. And as you can appreciate, he's not happy about that. But it's still no one's specific fault. If it's anybody's fault, if anybody's to blame for it, it's me. Because I said from the off, it's okay if you want to have more than one person at the address entering the raffles. Just use a different device. I thought that's what it was as easy as that. But it's not as easy as that. So what I've got to say to everybody is, from now onwards, from this moment onwards, if you have multiple accounts at the same address, please don't use them. Don't use them. Because it will mess up your main account. So please don't use them as of now. If you've got a wife, a son, a daughter, whatever, and they've got multiple accounts, all I can ask you to do is get them to use their accounts and buy their free entries and buy their raffle entries with their vouchers, etc. Get them to do that from a different house. You know, as much of a pain in the arse as that is, maybe doing it from your mate's house, from their mate's house, from someone's house you might go and visit or whatever. It's the only way I can think of at the moment where two people from the same household can use their raffle credit or buy raffle entries, pardon me. Because you can't do it from the same IP address. And if you do it from the same IP address, the system is going to lock you out, possibly block you, possibly ignore the entries without even telling you and telling us, and therefore we wouldn't know until you raise a complaint and say, oi, I bought 30 entries in that drawer and I only saw my name on it once, which was the free entry. So please all take this on board for me and help fix the error in your own way. Maybe the wife goes to work and therefore, or the husband, it's a bit sexist, maybe a partner goes to work or one of the other people in the household goes to work and maybe they can do their entries in their tea break or something. And therefore they're not doing it with a home IP address, maybe. Maybe you can do it at a friend's house, maybe a relative's house that you go and visit or something. So while you're there, take 5 minutes to do your raffle entries and then it's done. That's the only thing I can suggest for the minute. So I'm very, very sorry. I hope it doesn't offend anybody, but if it does, well, I just have to take that on the chin because, you know, offending you is not what I want to do, but I cannot get round this. Not at the moment. When we can get round it, Chris will tell me, I will tell you. But until such time, can't get round it. So the best thing I can do is say, pick one account for each address, each IP address, and only use that account at that IP address. Any other accounts, use them at a different IP address. All right, really sorry about that. Quick update on grabbing the postman's balls. 3 numbers are gone permanently. Number 13, number 29 and number 26. They're gone permanently. Subscriptions have been taken out for those. So if you want to specify your number and you don't want anybody else to have it, get a subscription. There can only be a maximum of 100 subscriptions and that's all the balls gone for the postman's drawer. get your entries in before 8 o'clock tonight for Hector's draw tomorrow. And that's all I've got to say about all that for now. All right. Many thanks. Oh, one other final thing. Anybody waiting on any items, post, etc. We've got this changeover going. I'm outsourcing all the post. It's all being moved to another address. And this is taking a little bit of time, and there will be a couple of glitches. So what I'll say now is allow 2 more weeks from today, and by that time all of the posting should be done up to date within the same week it's won. All right, many thanks. Love out my bucket to everybody. Bye for now. Oops.